This is a special Sunday here because we're having a joint service with our friends from the Twin Cities Buddhist Sangha. And this is a group that was founded in the late 40s here in the Twin Cities, so older than our group. And we've been friends for a while now. This is our 5th annual joint service, and we've worked together in a number of other ways as well. And TCBS is in the Jodo Shinshu tradition. It is a Pure Land group. So some differences between our two groups. We emphasize meditation a little more. They emphasize chanting a little more. I think at the heart, it is really the same practice. And we're so excited to have the group here. So we're going to do a few things. We're going to do some chanting in the Zen tradition of the Heart Sutra and Bodhisattva vows. This will be led by Unkyo Gyalms here. And we will have some chanting led by Chiemi Onokura Lai in the Jodo Shinshu tradition. And then a short Dharma talk by Reverend Deborah King, and a short Dharma talk by Ben Connolly, and Q&A if there's time. It may not happen quite in that order because I need to reprint some of these chants. You didn't get all the right chants, so I'll work on that while you're chanting the Heart Sutra and the Bodhisattva vows. So welcome one and all. Thank you. However you want to manage that transition.
God of great perfect wisdom sutra.
Was the supreme mantra, the incomparable mantra, which removes all suffering and is truly manifest. Therefore, we proclaim the the mantra that says, Ate, Ate, Para, Ate, Parasamrate Bodhi Swaha.
Bodhisattva vows. These are numbers bowing to freedom. The Buddhism's are inexhaustible, bowing to its wisdom. Dharma is abundant. Bowing to Buddha's way is unsurpassable, bowing to become it.
Deborah, could you speak now? And we'll do chants after she speaks.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Reverend Deborah Ting, and I just want to explain that a little bit. I attended and was ordained at an interfaith seminary where we studied all faiths, so that's where Reverend comes in. But I am here as a representative of the Twin Cities Buddhist Sangha, where I serve as a minister's assistant. We are a Sangha, as you've already heard of, the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist tradition, or Shin Buddhism for short. And we've been coming here for several years to share a service, and we're so grateful for the invitation and this time to be all together in community. Buddhism is practiced in a variety of ways throughout the world, and our tradition is what I would like to explain to you a little bit more about today. So the heart of Shin Buddhism is compassion and gratitude. It's a word those are words we say often. And so it's a joy to share with you today a little bit about Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, especially because we are now in November and entering into the season where we in the U.S. customarily focus on thankfulness and gratitude. Jodo Shinshu Buddhism is a branch of Pure Land Buddhism, and it began with Shinran Shonin, a Buddhist monk who was born in the outskirts of Kyoto in Japan in 1173. At the age of 9, he joined the Tendai Buddhist monastery at Mount Heian, and he spent 20 years in traditional Buddhist training. At the age of 29, Shinran left the monastery and began to study under Honen Shonin, who had also studied in the Tendai tradition. And Honen introduced him to the larger sutra, in which the historical Buddha tells of the Amida Buddha, who was once a king, eventually became a monk, and then a bodhisattva, making a series of vows. And one of the vows is the primal vow that states, I've shortened it a little, but this is what it says: if, when I attain Buddhahood, the sentient beings entrusting themselves, aspiring to be born in my land, and saying my name perhaps 10 times, should not be born there, may I not attain supreme enlightenment. And for us, this vow illustrates the deep compassion of the Amida Buddha, who cared for all sentient beings before his own needs. So Honen advocated the practice of saying the Nembutsu as a way of giving oneself over to the compassion of the Amida Buddha. In Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, we hold our palms together and we say the Nembutsu, the Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And we are saying, I take refuge in the Amida Buddha. In doing this, we are expressing gratitude for the compassion of the Amida Buddha, the compassion for all sentient beings as expressed through the primal vow. So after studying with Honen, the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, Shinran Shonin, went on to share Buddhist principles and the Nembutsu practice with ordinary people, with the farmers and the workers and the homemakers, the people who, because of their labors, did not have the time to engage in monastery Buddhist practices. They didn't have the time or the ability to leave their worldly concerns behind and live in a monastery. Shinran Shonin said those who deeply entrust themselves to Amida's vow of great compassion should all say the Nembutsu, the Namo Amida Butsu. He said, although my eyes, blinded by passions, do not see the brilliant light that embraces me, the great compassion never tires, always casting its light upon me. And so we express our gratitude and our trust in that great compassion that never tires by saying the Nembutsu. And we begin to perceive in the depths of our being the immense and boundless compassion within the primal vow. When we recite the Nembutsu with deep sincerity, we become aware of our own egocentricity, of our blind passions, and we realize also how interconnected we are, while also receiving the compassion of the Amida Buddha that embraces us in all of our humanness. And because of receiving that compassion, we begin to feel a sense of gratitude, and then in the fullness of time to embody a life of gratitude. And out of that gratitude for the compassion that is given us, how can then we feel anything other than compassion for one another, even for our own imperfect selves? And so it's kind of a circular thing. And the circular part is not something required or prescribed in Shin Buddhism. It's just really the outcome of being able to receive compassion, live in gratitude, and then compassion, kind of available and logical for all. So when we do this, we are knowing that we are enveloped, and that embraces us every moment, and we embrace the comfort that gives, that no matter what life brings, we can live without fear or difficulty, and instead live in deep gratitude, a life of gratitude in which we accept gratefully whatever comes. Deep compassion and deep gratitude for yourself, deep compassion and deep gratitude for every single person we encounter, every situation, every moment of our lives. We say it through the Nembutsu, and eventually we live it. I think we just gave a tiny little glimpse of this on Halloween night. On Friday night, if you remember, it was really chilly and rainy, rain was drizzling, and the trick-or-treaters were out. I love Halloween, and it's a tiny bit of innocence that still remains because we trustingly open our doors in the dark to complete strangers. And the children trustingly knock on our doors, and they expect only kindness and generosity. And that all happens on that night. We are connected to one another. We give goodness and compassion to those cute little kids, and even the big teenagers with their pillowcases. As they stand out in the rain, and then they respond with joy and gratitude. So I gave a Dharma message on April 19th, 2020, as we were in the early days of the pandemic. And I had been thinking about then how we had lost our innocence, how innocent we were prior to the pandemic, when we went through the life that we took for granted, such as being able to sit side by side in the Sangha, to share a meal in person with a friend, and how all of that was suddenly gone. And I think we might be in the midst of another realization of losing our innocence during this time when all that we take for granted seems to be starting to be taken away or in peril. Or this time when there's so much cruelty going on. Life as it once appeared to be seems to have vanished. But we do have the moments. I had company for 5 days last week. There were 5 of us from different parts of the U.S. 2 from the West Coast, 1 from the East Coast, 1 from Florida, and me in the middle. And we were together at my home. And we hadn't seen each other in person for almost 2 years, and it was just a wonderful time of laughing, of being serious, of sharing, of cooking and taking walks, and I never wanted it to end. But on the last day, I got up at 4 a.m. to say goodbye to the first one who was leaving early in an Uber. And I opened the curtains so we could see the car approaching, and I looked out my windows, and I marveled at the fact that the entire neighborhood was dark. no lights in the windows at all. And I thought, everyone is still asleep. All this so quiet and peaceful. It's so innocent. In the midst of difficulty and the differences, everyone had actually let go and trusted that all will be well and that they can sleep. And it reminded me not only of our interconnectedness, but it gave me a sense of such calm and peace. Because we may be stumbling through difficulties, we may all be going through so much, and yet we can let go and be vulnerable and safe and just be grateful. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote, "The world is indeed full of peril, and in it there are many dark places. But still there is much that is fair, and though in all lands love is now angled with grief, it still grows perhaps the greater." For us as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, it's through the saying of the Nembutsu that we feel that we ultimately live compassion and gratitude through compassion and gratitude, that we realize how truly interconnected we all are, and through that understanding, joy arises. Because as, I hope I'm saying this right, Ajahn Sumedho, who is an American Buddhist monk now living in England, he's a monk in the Thai forest tradition of Theravada Buddhism, he said, "A life without gratitude is a joyless life." And so here we are in this month of November, the time when we focus on gratitude. It's a good focus, and it's one that can bring us much joy. So thank you for listening to me share the heart of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. I'm deeply grateful. And I will close by saying the Nembutsu, and for those who would like, please join me. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Maybe it's my turn. Can I go ahead? Okay. So I'm going to give a short talk, and then we'll do some chanting in the Jodo Shinshu style, and then we'll have some Q&A. So hello. My name is Ben Connolly. I'm an assistant guiding teacher here at Minnesota Zen Meditation Center, and this is one of my favorite days of the year. So what a joy. We've been doing joint services with Twin Cities Buddhist Sangha for several years. Someone could count, but I just know several. And you know, so many beautiful connections that I feel to people in this community. I remember when Todd Tsuchiya first came in the door here on a blank Friday after Thanksgiving and introduced himself and began a beautiful friendship. And you know, it was with Twin Cities Buddhist Sangha people that we first offered some annual vigils at the Whipple Federal Building in solidarity with immigrants. And we'll be doing another one next year. And again, in partnership with folks from Twin Cities Buddhist Sangha. And I recall studying some sutras with Paul and Roger Jackson. And when my beloved colleague, Reverend Dr. Gia Star Brown, and I started to formulate a plan to bring meditation and social justice events to George Floyd Square, the first sponsors and some of the first people who brought their bodies to the square and brought food and resources were Chami-san and Deborah. So just so grateful for the reality of relationship that I have and that we as a community have with TCBS folks. And so I would like to talk about the vastness of my ignorance in terms of Soto Zen and how it relates to Jodo Shinshu. So, you know, before Todd came in here and introduced himself, I didn't know anything about Jodo Shinshu, that it was different than Shin Buddhism, that it was different than other schools of Pure Land, and it's quite its own distinct and wonderful flavor. the fact that there had been a Buddhist community here for 20, 25 years before MZMC was formed. I did not know that. And I've been able to learn a lot through relationships with you folks. And, I remember when Pearl, who's our resident here from the Vietnamese Truk Lam tradition, will be in residence here for a couple weeks, first showed up here with Venerable Tuan Bach. And I learned there's a whole there's thousands of monastics in the Truk Lam tradition. I'd never heard of it. And I've been able, very fortunately, to make some connections with folks in that tradition. But someone just a couple days ago said, oh yeah, I've been going to retreats at this Vietnamese place in Egan. I'd never heard of it. I'd never even heard of the tradition that it was a part of. Now the thing is, I'm really into Buddhism. I'm like such a nerd. I'm like trying to meet everybody and reading all the books. And every day I learn something that I didn't know. And that is, if I'm lucky, that will happen till I die. And the thing is, that's in my chosen field. What about astrophysics? Wow. Or what about disease vectors in, I don't know. I don't even know the terms that you would have to use to make a joke about what I don't know about it. All the people. What is it like to be living in the Netherlands right now, or in South Sudan, or in northern India? What is it like to be a turtle right now? The turtles that live in Bidé-Makaska, what's their deal? I don't know. What is it like to be that tree? What is it like to be you? What is it like to be me in 2 minutes? What even is this right now? I mean, my ignorance is incredible. It's fantastic. It's boundless. It's limitless. So, I know you all have it all figured out, but I'm just, talking about this. So anyway, the boundlessness, the limitlessness of ignorance. Maybe there's some kind of limit, but we'll use limitless because we don't know what the limit is. Or I'll use limitless. The Heart Sutra, we chanted that. That's really about how we don't know. We think we have things figured out, and it's not true. And, Dogen Zenji, the founder of our sect, who lived around at the same time as Shinran, so they were informed by the same ideas. In the Genjo Koan, he says, those who have great realization of delusion are Buddhas. So what makes a Buddha is knowing the vastness of delusion. So I'm just trying to know a little more how deluded I am. That's my practice. And this is something we can be grateful for. That Buddhas have figured out the vastness of delusion. That all the things we think we have figured out are not absolutely true. Because there's an enormous freedom in that to just keep going. And Shinran and Dogen came, as I understand it, Shinran who founded Jodo Shinshu and Dogen who founded Soto Zen. They were really both, part of their drive was if everything is already, realization, what are we doing here? Why do people still suffer? Why do we practice? And, that realization that Buddhists have that we don't know, that things are beyond us, that's already true. The evidence that you're already Buddha is that you're ignorant. No offense. That's kind of a backhanded compliment, wasn't it? You're already Buddha. But that's because you don't know. And it's okay. It's okay. That's how it is for all of us. The turtles don't know either. So both of them saw that this is a world where everything is beyond our knowing, and they generated visions of how to live within that. And we hear in Jodo Shinshu of gratitude, just being grateful that that realization is there and always available, and that compassion flows from it. We really go beyond our knowing. We can really meet people. It's easy to meet the people we like. We can go beyond our knowing and meet the people we don't like. It's possible. I've seen it happen. Gratitude and compassion naturally arising from knowing how much we don't know. And Dogen Zenji just said, well, since everything is already realization, it's already delusion, so it must be what's real is delusion, so that's realization. Acting like a Zen person now. Why don't you just act like a Buddha, since you're already a Buddha? Why not just act like a Buddha? I can't do that. Are you sure? Prove to me right now that you can't act like a Buddha. He says, just sit zazen, not to become something else or to make something else happen, but because you are Buddha. Just be kind and careful with what's in front of you, not for something else, but because you are a Buddha. Because everything is beyond your knowing. It's already true. So, just in case you're thinking, what, am I just supposed to be dumb? Well, I don't know. So, my teacher actually often said, just do stupid zazen. So maybe, now and again. But I love learning. I love learning about people. I love learning about what our lives are like and how to take care of each other. And that is the practice that the Buddhas do. And you look at the historical record of the Buddha, he met people, he tried to understand them, and he tried to do something that would help. And we can do this. And we know we can do it because people do it all the time. And that's this character of gratitude I heard you talking about. Just seeing that people are doing amazing and wonderful things all the time. So, I'm really grateful to get to be sitting up here with you, Deborah, this morning, and to be with other dear friends from these two communities that have come together. And I'm kind of hoping we're ready to do some chants, but I'm going to just keep talking for a second till I see whether that's true. What do you think, Lisa? Do you think we're ready for the next thing? Okay. Thank you all very much.
Okay, so we have some chants to distribute. Everyone please take one.
Hello everyone. Hello. My name is Reverend Chimi Onikurabrai. I'm Minister of the Swimsuit Buddhist Sangha. So while you are cutting the print out, I will explain about a little bit our tradition of the Sutra chanting tradition. So the first of all, I would like to introduce we set up here our altar here next to the Buddha statue. So it said that you may wonder what does it say, the kanji character. It said Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. Amida Buddha is invisible light and light. And then we would like to, we will chant Sambujo first. The Sambujo is actually the bigger. So in the Jodo Shinshu tradition, the Sambujo refers to the three invocations of invitation chanted at the beginning of the service. Invite the Buddhas to be present here in this dojo. So those meaning the three are respectfully welcome Amida Buddha, inviting Amida Buddha here. Respectfully welcome Shakyamuni Buddha, honoring the historical Buddha who expound the Dharma. Respectfully welcome the Buddha from the 10 directions, inviting the Buddha of all times and places. So these verses express deep reverence and gratitude, settling the spirit atmosphere for the service and reminding us that we are guided by the compassionate presence of Buddha. So the chanting goes with some melody. Forget about Western music like 4 beat or 3 beats or anything like that. So just follow me as much as you can. So it will be just imagine like an ocean wave or like a wind. So the meaning of the let's see. So each sentence has Sangye Raku. That's the part we all chant together. So the Sangye Raku means as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. So just imagine with the wind and the flower petals are flowing over, and then imagine the pure land, the Buddha's land. And then after the Sambujo, so we will chant Juseige, so which is the other seats. And then Juseige means verses reiterating the vows, appears in the first volume of a sutra on the Buddha's miserable life. Bodhisattva Dharmakala, who became Amida Buddha in the beginningless past, appeared in a set forth his all surpassing 48 vows, with which to save all beings to fulfill them all without fail. So this gaza is so named because Amida Buddha reiterated in his vows that should all beings wallowing in the sea of delusion not be saved, and that should there be any place that his name, Namo Amida Butsu, is not heard, he will not attain Buddhahood. So we will start from Sambujo. Namah Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, well, we have a little time for voices from Sangha. So questions are very welcome, or brief reflections. And whoever's running the online component, I think because we have 2 or 3 speakers, we're not going to use the microphone here. So just turn up those boundary mics and invite anyone speaking to speak with a full voice. I think I found a person. Go ahead, go for it.
I'd be interested in hearing the origin story in the 1940s of how the swan came to the lake here. How your group started.
I think, maybe would you be a good person to
Sure.
answer that?
It all stems from the World War II, the Fort Snelling, there was a military intelligence group there. And then there's a lot of Japanese Americans who were trained there, and so they formed the Sangha from that beginning. So that's where it came from. And actually, the Sanghas formed in what, 1945?
1946, so we'll be
46.
celebrating our 80th anniversary in 2026. So to add on to Reverend Todd's comments, the Sangha was formed from the Japanese American people who were being released from the incarceration camps. And many of their sons, as Todd said, were training at Fort Snelling, and they helped their families relocate here. So that's really our origin story from the Japanese Americans.
And then our Sangha is a part of the Buddhist Church of America, which is an organization of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism in North America, the United States. The Hawaii has their own organization, and then Buddhist Church of America, we have 40 temples around.
60.
Oh, 60. Okay, sorry, 60 temples around in the states,
Yes.
in the mainland.
Yes.
Yeah, and then majorly the most are West Coast, Seattle, Oregon, California, a lot.
Very few in the eastern part of the U.S.
Very few. Yes, and then we are one of them.
Can I add, only piggyback off of what you asked, how did the Minnesota Zen Center, how did you land in Minneapolis? What's your origin story?
Okay, so as I understand it, there were a number of people interested in practicing Zen here, and they had some connections to Dainin Katagiri Roshi, who was serving as an assistant in San Francisco Zen Center, and had also served at Zenchuji in Los Angeles. And they managed to convince him to come here to found a Zen Center with his family, with Tomoe-san and, Ejo-san and Yashihiko. Yeah. So they came here. They lived first in a little fourplex, and then shortly thereafter they acquired this building. And Dainin Katagiri Roshi served as the founder and abbot here till about 1990 when he died. Tomoe is still around. She was still teaching until about 15 years ago, teaching sewing, maybe 10 years ago.
Less,
Yeah, 10 years ago. And yeah, so like that.
So what year was it that it came?
72. Yeah, and then I think the building was acquired in 74. Yeah.
I heard that the author of the book Zen and the Motorcycle Maintenance contributed financially to attain this building.
That is true. I think there were some kind of freaky people who were involved in founding this. And one of them was Robert Pirsig, who wrote the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which was a very surprise best-selling book. And he did contribute resources to get this building, although many other people did as well. Yeah.
I have one little story to that. When Katagiri was still in San Francisco, he and Suzuki, who was the head guy there at the time, were traveling across the country, and as they were flying back home, they flew over the Midwest, and Suzuki said, "See that down there? That's where the regular people live." And having been in San Francisco in the 60s, Katagiri was ready to be with some, he expected to come and have farmers and plumbers and, regular people, and immediately every hippie between the two.
Didn't you write the history of Katagiri?
Not me.
Okay.
Andrea
Martin.
Martin.
Okay.
We have a beautiful biography and resources about the lives of both Tomoe and Diane Katagiri on our website. And a huge archive that Andrea Martin has been working on for years. Please.
So, thank you so much for your service. Appreciate it. So one thing you shared is that we are all already Buddhas, but we are deluded. And I'm wondering, so if we are all already Buddhas, enlightened, how come we're not enlightened?
So fun. I love Mahayana Buddhism. So the sense in which we are already Buddhas is that everything we think we know is not the absolute truth. So it's already true that everything we think we know is not the absolute truth. And what a Buddha knows is that everything they think they know is not the absolute truth. So they know how things are, and how things are is how they already are. So that pertains to everything about ourselves and everything we perceive. So if this answer seems a little bit like, what? Don't be surprised. The philosophy that underpins Mahayana Buddhism is really difficult. Maybe it just lands on your heart, and that's great. But if it's kind of like, I don't know, these people are saying some weird stuff. Yeah, we say some weird stuff, and the idea is it can crack our fixated ways of thinking, and that makes us more like we're realizing our inherent Buddhahood.
Great answer.
You want to say anything about that?
No, that was perfect.
May I say something about that is a little bit differences of the understanding when we became a Buddha. So Jodo Shinshu understanding is the life after death. After this life, we all became Buddha. So in this life, we are guaranteed, we all sentient beings are guaranteed that becoming a Buddha. And then we call death is departing this life. It's called rebirth into the Pure Land. And then we all, each one of us became a Buddha after life. So that's a difference of the Buddhist sect are saying when even though inside of the Jodo Shinshu there is a different theories and then when. So that's all the big discussions.
Could I say something?
Yes, beautiful.
Just to clarify the nature of the Pure Land, a lot of times when people hear about it, they think it's kind of like a heaven or something like that, but it's not. It's more, actually, it's Pure Lands are way stations where you come to fully realize your Buddha nature. And then you can return to the worlds of delusion and help all beings in ways that we are too limited and ignorant to. I mean, we have lots of examples of that when people, try to do something good and it doesn't turn out well. It has unforeseen consequences. So to go to the Pure Land is to have a panoramic vision of life and to really understand how one can help all beings. And so that's the ultimate goal of the Pure Lands. And all Buddhas have Pure Lands. They basically are the sphere of influence of the Buddha.
Amida Buddha's Pure Land actually, like, people are reborn there, but actually nobody's there because they return to the world, this world, to help others. And so when we think about our ancestors, we think about them as being supportive of our being. So.
Thank you. And I'm the guy with the clock. So, do you want to say anything before we wrap up here?
Oh, just, thank you again. I love this tradition that we have of coming together, being all together and sharing, I don't want to say the differences, the uniquenesses of each tradition. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we'll turn it over to the door.